Welcome back to At Your Service. This is a weekly podcast where we interview people who own a service-based business. And I have the pleasure of interviewing a person on the West Coast, somebody that I met in Vegas earlier this year. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you for having me on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just wanted to give some context for everyone. I was in Vegas for a convention and I had some free time. I went to a Chamber of Commerce event and that's how I got connected with Aaron. So you never know where you will meet people and where it will take you. So
it's important
yeah,
just to get out there sometimes,
100%.
do it. You never know.
Absolutely, Aaron. So if you could give the audience a background of who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Aaron Winder. I'm an attorney in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have a solo personal injury practice in Las Vegas that I've recently opened in March of 2024. And so it's been a wild journey and a wild ride, but I've loved it so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just kind of curious, what inspired you to start your own law firm as opposed to, just working at another firm?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I've always had this kind of entrepreneurial spirit, right? And after I finished law school, I went and worked for another solo personal injury lawyer, right? He was fantastic, super smart guy. But after a short while, I kind of realized, that in personal injury, you kind of have your regular cases, and then you have some of the other cases that are maybe more challenging, more interesting. And those are the ones you do research on, you talk to your buddies, and you make a decision and you go forward. So I just decided, like, you know what, I got to listen to myself, listen to my spirit, and go out and fly on it on my own. And so that's what I did.
That's just incredible, to kind of jump out of the plane and then build the parachute on the way down. I think that's what a lot of small business owners do. Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't want to wait for the right time, right? Waiting. I didn't want to do that. Plus, I think the longer you stay in your current job, the more you're dependent upon that income, right? And so it was like, before I get super established at that firm, and luckily my wife, frankly, makes enough money to kind of hold us down while I built this business. So it was like now or never. And then also, in full disclosure too, my father's an attorney in Las Vegas.
Got it.
And so that made it a little bit easier, knowing that I could always kind of depend on him. I could do some side work for him.
Nice.
Call him with any questions, anything like that. I'd hoped he'd throw me a couple cases here and there, so there was that. There was that. And I think that did help aid in the decision as well.
Nice. What was a challenge that you faced when you opened up your law firm, and how did you overcome that?
Well, to be frank, I opened up my own law firm like literally a year. I think it was literally a year after I had passed the bar.
Wow.
So I passed the bar. I worked for that other attorney for about 8-9 months. And then I was off for a little bit in between there because I had a baby. Anyways, and I opened up. So I was learning on the fly, right? I was learning how to manage these cases on the fly, how to manage and run a business on the fly. I mean, learning it all kind of as we go. Like I said, lots of calls to other mentors, to fellow attorneys, to folks in other businesses, just to, make sure I wasn't stepping in it. But just lots of learning on the fly.
Got it. And, you're a personal injury attorney. What made you pursue that specific area of law?
Well, so I went to law school as a second career, right? I worked in healthcare administration before law school. Frankly, I saw all the disparate outcomes in healthcare, and I thought I was going to practice solely medical malpractice.
Oh, wow.
And that was really my thought going to law school. Then I went to law school, Frankly, I did some interning while in law school and just realized that focus solely on medical malpractice was not going to be my jam, right?
Hmm.
It's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit more removed from the actual client, from the person that's injured. It's a
Hmm.
little bit more just kind of desk work, right? Where I really like connecting with my clients, working directly with my clients.
Right.
And so personal injury was a natural place to transition since they, folks are injured and there's still some disparate outcomes within personal injury. So that's where I focused.
Nice, 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 nice. And what do you enjoy about what you do now?
So I I'm honestly I'm the happiest I've ever been when it comes to like work or career, making money. Like I absolutely love what I do. Like I said, I love connecting with my clients. You meet folks after they've been injured in some way, and from small injuries to catastrophic injuries, it really, really can turn folks' lives upside down. So to be able to
Mhm.
meet them in that time of need, kind of help walk them through this process, do what I can to sort of almost settle things down while they focus on getting better. And then at the end, hopefully I try to put some money in their pocket. And
Definitely.
often I do, right? So I love it. I love being able to help my clients and put money in their pocket at the same time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely a great feeling. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And
Mhm.
obviously there's a lot of attorneys out there, and more specifically where I live in Connecticut, when you drive down uh, the highway, you always see a bunch of billboards for all types of attorneys, but predominantly
Mhm.
personal injury attorneys. So from your perspective, how do you kind of stand out from your competition?
Right. And frankly, Las Vegas is one of the top 5 saturated markets for personal injury attorneys. Right. So the competition is fierce. But I look at it the other way too, right? There's a reason why you see so many billboards, and that's because um, there's opportunity to help people and earn a living, right? And so how I stand out is typically, and it's kind of an easy to say, right? But the guys on the billboard, they're going to have much higher volume practice, right? And
Mhm.
a lot of times, if you sign with them, you may not even meet with them. You may never actually talk to them at all. Whereas at my practice, it's more of a boutique firm. And so I touch every case. I talk to every client
Mm.
regularly, so I'm going to give you that connection, that personal service with each case for each client. And that's how I try to stand out. Really, I really try to build that connection with my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that customer service is very, it's not talked about enough, and just being able to have that rapport with your client, I think is key. So, yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
very, very well said. And, you know, I just mentioned it, but with a lot of personal injury attorneys, they advertise on billboards. How have you looked at kind of, you know, growing your practice?
Well, like I said, the Las Vegas market is very, very saturated. So even thinking about buying some TV ads or some billboards, right? It's big business and super
Mhm.
expensive. So I've focused mainly on, family and friends, doing a really,
Nice.
really good job with the clients I have so that I have, repeat customers or that I get referrals to their family and friends. So I've just really tried to focus on family and friends. And then also my wife, frankly, does a lot of social media for me.
Wow.
And yeah, and so what we did, my wife used to work for a marketing firm.
Hmm.
So for Christmas, she bought me like 5 assets, and and so you can change these assets and change the wording and the font and the pictures and stuff, but they all look professional. They have my logo, and so
Wow.
she's used that to to make sure she's marketing me on social media, and it's been very, very helpful so far.
That's awesome, Aaron. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what is the most common type of injury that you see?
Probably car accidents.
Okay.
Motor vehicle accidents can be more straightforward, just because the causation element. There's duty breach, causation, and damages, for these personal injuries. And so with car accidents, those elements are just easier to line up,
Mhm.
but I also see, slip and falls and allergy cases and, amongst a whole bunch of other types of cases too.
For sure, for sure. Do you just focus on personal injury, or do you have other areas of law that you also practice?
Just personal injury. All of my cases, have some sort of personal injury, right? I mean, I do some medical malpractice,
Got it.
and I also am into mass torts, right?
Okay.
Which are, when someone has been injured, and these are usually the bigger cases that you might see commercials about, like 𝐘𝐨𝐿 or hernia mesh, something like that.
Mhm.
But at the core of it, right, somebody was injured at the hands of somebody else. So those are all the cases that I take.
For sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Have you found that there are any good referral partners for what you do? Like, I would think other attorneys who don't do personal injury, or perhaps chiropractors. Have you
Mhm.
found that to be helpful for you?
That's exactly right. So other attorneys that don't specialize in personal injury, right? So
Mhm.
family lawyers or even criminal attorneys. I mean, all sorts of attorneys come across cases because maybe they're the attorney that someone knows in their life, or their clients, are injured, right? And so they need a personal injury attorney. So that's exactly right. And then also, like you mentioned, chiropractors, other physicians can be very helpful and referral partners as well. Absolutely.
Got it.
Mhm.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned that you have a solo practice. Would you ever take on uh, sort of like a business partner? And do you think it's important to have a partner in business, or can you just be solo?
You know what? That's a great question. Um, like for instance, my first employee I brought on is he's like my right hand man, my office manager. We went to high school together. He has a ton of experience managing cases in personal injury.
Mhm.
So in some ways, I lean on him a ton, right? Not in some ways. I mean, I absolutely lean on him a ton. But I guess that is not the same as a an actual business partner.
Mhm.
I think there's advantages and disadvantages.
Of
I could
course.
see how, just having another partner to run things by, to make joint decisions, to frankly use their kind of reach and influence into opportunities that maybe you do not have can be very helpful. And then just to share and manage the kind of stress and
Mhm.
anxiety of running a practice, of running a business. I could see how having a partner could be helpful in that. At the same time, you have a partner, right? So you have to make
Yeah.
decisions together, and you have to agree on things. And so there's some downside to that as well. So I could see me perhaps having a partner one day, but it would just have to make sense.
Right.
And right now, my, my main partner is my office manager, Ernesto Polito, and then also my wife.
Yeah.
My wife is intimately involved in the business, right? So I certainly have a partner, if you will, in my wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely, Aaron. So just a few more questions outside of what you do.
yeah.
Um, so if you weren't an attorney, what else do you think you could see yourself doing?
Well, I would say like in another life kind of
Mhm.
thing, right? Now that I really think maybe I would think about being like an investigative journalist.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they just have a really cool job, and I think they are really, really important to society and democracy, right?
Mm,
Like, uncovering some of these scandals or digging deep into what some of these important people say or do, I think is a really, really important job. And I think it would be fun. And so, yeah, I would think about being like a journalist or an investigative journalist of some sort. That would probably be what I would give a shot if I could do it again.
nice.
Well,
Nice.
no, no, not if I could do it again, if I had to do it again. I actually
Yeah.
love what I do. I wouldn't change it for anything. I love personal injury. But if I had to, for instance, I would think about personal being an investigative journalist.
That's Really cool. I haven't heard that answer yet, so it's very, very niche and very unique.
Mhm.
Um, and what is something that nobody or very few people know about you?
You know what? So my personality is kind of pretty chill, right? I'm like a
Yeah.
big, lovable kind of guy and whatnot, and like I don't yell and raise my voice a lot, but I can be a little A-type personality. It's like sometimes, like I am a lawyer and I did go to law school, and so I'm pretty chill. But there are some things that I am very much a stickler about. You can
Mm.
ask Ernesto Leo. He'll tell you like there are some things that I'm very much a stickler about. And so when it comes to certain things about my clients, like I do not mess around. That's
Yeah.
why negotiating is actually my part of my favorite part of the job. Right, I love getting in there, going back and forth, staking your claim,
Mm.
making them bend to your will in order to get the best results for my clients.
I love that. That's awesome.
Mhm,
Yeah, I think it's an important aspect of being an attorney, especially a trial attorney as
mhm.
well. Being able to have conviction and what you stand for and not wavering from that. That's excellent.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So two more questions. What is one way that you like to give back?
I enjoy giving back in a number of ways, right? When my wife and I moved to Las Vegas, which for me, I was moving back home after law school. So we moved back here a couple of years ago. We knew we wanted to kind of ingratiate ourselves in the community and just
Mm,
really, really get involved as best we can. So, I've sponsored the U.S. Vets Gala. That
nice.
was a couple of weeks ago. We went to that. I sponsored a couple of men to receive mental health therapy services.
Wow.
So we're trying a number of ways to just get involved in the community, right? Because we talked about earlier about personal injury attorneys advertising on billboards and kind of doing that. But my goal is to do it the other way, like to build organically from the ground, and that means genuinely helping people and
Mm,
giving my time and money to different causes to help people. I mean, that's what we do, right? I mean, of course, we want to earn a living, but we want to give back too. I think something about it feels good, and we want to tap into that.
definitely, Aaron. We earn a living by what we get, but we live a life by what we give. So it's important to
Right.
keep that in mind.
Yes.
You
Yes.
like that, right?
Yeah, that was really good. Really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then very, very last question, where can people go to reach out?
Well, you can certainly call me, right, at the office. Ernesto or I are always available, 702-789-2475. Then you can always reach me through the website, thewinderlawfirm.com. That's WINDER lawfirm.com. And then you can always shoot me an email at aaron@thewinderlawfirm.com. I'm available for any questions. If you just want to reach out, say hello, introduce yourself, exchange some ideas, like whatever it is. Like I said, I love what I do. So I just, anything I could do to help people or to bring in some other ideas from different business types or whatnot, I'm certainly open.
Awesome. Awesome, Aaron. Very, very well said, and really appreciate you chatting today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Of course.
Fantastic interview.